Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on Volume Part 2. This video follows on from the previous video where we found the volume of three popular 3D objects, namely prisms. In this video we find the volume of prisms that are slightly more involved. So here's an example of a prism, and it looks a little bit different from the prisms we saw in the previous video. However, we've been asked to find the volume of these types of prisms, and let's see how we go. So it's sort of like an L-shaped, if you like, and we've got all the measurements we need. So what we've done, we've reproduced this three-dimensional object over here, and we've put a dotted line there to divide it into two separate parts. So when you've got a sort of a 3D object like this, which is a composite, which means it's made up of different parts, you try, and divide the 3D object, or the solid, into two or more different parts, the same way as we did for area. And then you find the volume of each part, and then you add them together. So we have here the A, which is that solid there. That's why I've nicknamed it or put the name A. And B represents that solid there. So the volume of the whole solid will be area A, which is that, plus area B, which is that, multiplied by the width. So we find that area, and multiply by the width. So let's look at area A first. You can see that area A will be 10 millimeters by that length there. Well, if that's 8 and that's 12, that means this here must be 4. So the first part will be 10 millimeters by 4 millimeters. We're just looking at this face. Now this face here, it's quite clear that it's 8 millimeters by 3 millimeters, which is that one. And then you multiply by 2 millimeters to find the volume. So that first part is 40 square millimeters. This one is 24 square millimeters. And then we multiply that by 2 millimeters. So when you add those two together, that gives you 64 square millimeters multiplied by 2 square millimeters. And the answer with respect to volume will be 128 cubic millimeters. So that's the volume of that entire solid, 128 cubic millimeters. This is an interesting one. Again, you can see that it's a composite type of solid because that part there is like a rectangular prism, and this part here is like a triangular prism. So if we find the volume of that and then the volume of that and we add them together, that'll give you the volume of the entire 3D object. So let's look at the rectangular prism first. That'll be 8 centimeters by 10 centimeters multiplied by the length, which is 30. So there it is there, which is 2,400 cubic centimeters. Now the triangular prism, remember it's half base times height for the area of the triangle, so that's half times 6 centimeters times 8 centimeters. We multiply that by 30 to find the volume. So when we work that section out, that gives us 720 cubic centimeters. So the total volume of the above 3D solid will be 2,400 cubic centimeters, which is the volume of the rectangular prism, plus 720 cubic centimeters, which is the volume of the triangular prism, and that gives us a total volume of 3,120 cubic centimeters. So this video has given us two very interesting examples where we've seen how to work out the volume of composite solids or composite 3D objects. And all you do is split them up and just work through it systematically. And that's really how you do it. You have to take your time, don't rush, and you should be okay.